inhumane.
It's too inhumane.
Inhumane. You would wrap the belt around Lanza's neck.
No.
And then sling him and then pull him back.
No. No, he'd do it to me.
You.
I would take his belt off him. He'd take it away from me. Then he had me all soaking with blood. He put the belt around my neck and throw me and then put the brakes on. Now, he would just do that. And the promoter said, we can't use this. It's too inhumane.
And how about Roddy?
I said, you pay us, right?
Yeah. Well, Roddy Piper, I think it actually goes back to the build-up to WrestleMania 1 when he was incredibly effective working with the likes of Paul Orndorff. And we talked about him, Ace, Cowboy Bob Orton, and some of the great stuff that was done back then. It was a combination of a very dramatic, yet there was some humor in there.
The Cyndi Lauper thing.
The Cyndi Lauper thing
absolute classic.
Yeah.
I mean, that may have been a high point, one of the high points in your career, but for wrestling in general. I mean, the popularity from that was massive.
I think because when Cyndi Lauper, she was the female vocalist of the year at that time, and when doing her speech, the last thing she said, and Roddy Piper, you're going to get yours. You know, 80 million people are watching.
Coming mainstream.
Yeah, and I'd go by cars, and people would turn up. Girls just want to have fun. And, you know, I've been stabbed 3 times. The last one an inch from the heart.
That was at home.
Ad bay all day.
No, it's not just to work, right? Because I was reading about you. You have been stabbed for real 3 times.
3 different times. The last one coming an inch from the heart. You know, then you're getting pretty real.
Because your fans have a difficult time separating, you know, the work in the ring from the real you.
Well, and you know, I think that most of it was my fault because I got into it so hard. I lived it, breathed it, ate it. Like Bobby wrote a book here. I've never talked to you about this, you skunk. He in one of his books, he says, and tell Roddy Piper that professional wrestling's not real. Yeah. Well, I wish somebody would told me that before I ran into Andre.
No, Roddy defends it 100% all the time.
We got to go to break. I'm loving today's show.
This is our show now.
Yeah. Well, you guys keep doing. How about if we take a brief break and then come back and talk more?
That's fine.
Cut the break, though. Make it short.
We get paid for this.
I can't hear you! Speak to me again!
You dig it? I can dig it.
Let's see if you fans can guess where the blow-up valve is on those suits.
And you know something, Mean Gene? If you look like Mr. T, and I hate anybody that looks like Mr. T.
I know what you people are thinking right now, that something's on the stove and you smell bacon cooking. No, it's just the lights are hot.
All right, get ready. Hulk Hogan atop of the fence.
And you do look like Mr. T.
Bacon cooking. That is gold. Gold, Bobby.
Yes, Bobby.
All right, what you guys did is fake. Now, before Roddy, I know that gets you mad. Before you strip down and show us your injuries, please don't do that. Although you wouldn't have to strip very far. I'm not saying that it's not dangerous, but the results are scripted, right? And the performers are actors for sure. Guys are allowed to come out and do shows like this. Come out of character. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's
Whoa,
a great...
whoa. You were talking to me.
But he looked at me.
But he looked at you. See how confused he is? You know what? He doesn't know he's on the air yet. No, I'm not a character. I wear this because I came 5th in the world playing the bagpipes. I was the 167 amateur wrestling champion, Golden Gloves champion. First match, professional match I saw, I was in. And I was 15 years old, and I had no other means of making a living. And so I clambered onto it, and I learned from Judo Gene LaBelle, one of the toughest guys in the world, trained Bruce Lee, trained Chuck Norris, myself, only 25 black belts, he's given away 74 years. And I defend it because you say, well, it's a character. I'm not a character. This is me.
But guys do now come out of character, right? I mean, we've had...
no, well, you're talking about me.
Okay. Well, actually, I wasn't. I threw out the question. I said, "Is it a good thing
then
or a bad thing?"
I'm going to make you talk about me.
Okay.
And I'm not.
You guys
I'm not
want to we'll leave.
No, that's fine.
So
no, I'm not a character. I'm not a made-up guy. I'm a product of wrestling that started for me in 1969.
Would you be allowed to do this show when you were working for Vince McMahon 20 years ago? Would you be allowed to do that?
I wouldn't do it as point of choice at any time. Because I don't think that I put the proper light on wrestling. People, that's fake, it's that. No, like, you know how to fall.
But times have changed, though, because you're doing the show now. You're saying that 20 years ago you wouldn't have done it. Now you're doing it. So can we come to the agreement that times have changed?
No, that's not correct. I'm the only one disagreeing with you guys.
Well, these guys actually haven't had a chance to speak because you've been dominating the conversation, Roddy.
All right, now.
Is it a good or bad thing that guys like
No,
you
ask him.
can come out of character?
No, I think
It's
it's
about
good.
your book. That's what we're coming back to.
No, it's
Right.
not about you now, Rod.
Amazon.
Sorry.
No, I think it's good. I think it is. You know, do they really think I live in Beverly Hills and I'm really snooty and hate everybody and I'm stupid?
Yeah.
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 I am. I'm on a plane one day and the guy says to me, "Where you live?" I said, "Beverly Hills." He says, "So do I. What street?" I didn't know a street. I said, "You know that sign in Hollywood?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Behind it." I didn't know it. You know, but now they come on, people can see we're human beings and stuff. I managed a guy called the Missing Link. They really think I went out and found a guy and brought him out with a chain? He just has a bad haircut from New York, that's all. But he's a missing link. I mean, baseball. When's the last time you went to a game and the guy in the on-deck server had a mask on? When they ever introduced a guy from basketball playing center tonight from parts unknown, those things don't happen. So let's be human. Let those people admire us for the ability we have.
You guys have shown the ability to shut up Gene Okurlund, which is not an easy thing to do.
And there's been
that
nobody-
music means we're going to break, Gene.
I'll
Another
pick my
break.
spots, and when we come back, I've got a couple of things I want to talk to you about.
Okay, and as we go to break, we're going to take a look at an email, and this is a question for, I believe it's you, Bobby Heenan, and sorry, it's for you, Roddy. And the question for you, Roddy Piper, is because it's all about you. Hey, Roddy, could you recreate the greatest moment in wrestling history and hit Landsberg with a coconut?
Oh, yeah.
That
Not
could
a
be
problem. That could
Hey,
be
Gene,
done.
I wasn't asking you. We'll take a look at that great moment. When
You
we
have a
return.
sledgehammer here?
The only thing I didn't get a tree for you to climb up and down like a monkey, like you want to do. You want to be a big shot? I'll get you a tree next time. You want a banana? Have a banana. There you go. Good coconut.
That is one of the most famous moments in wrestling history. We're sitting here with three of the most famous guys in wrestling history. I got to say, before the show is done, this has been a total pleasure and an honor to sit with three legends, three really good guys. But I got to ask you, how'd you get away with that?
I think that nobody knew it was going to happen, and I just went for it. And I don't think that people from Fiji are feeling that they're downtrodden in society.
You were mashing a banana in the face of a guy from the island.
But you know, I don't think people care about that. It's wrestling. You can shoot a guy, bow and arrows. It's wrestling. But now if that would have happened in basketball, football, and other sport, they'd have probably been upset. I think there was more racial overtones to the African-American midget, that they were shaving his head rather than hitting snooker with some...
You're killing me again, Bobby. Feeling the heat here.
Take your brother
But at the time, that was talked about at the water coolers. If you passed through an airport, fans would come up to you and say, "What the hell was Roddy Piper doing to Superfly Jimmy Snuka?"
Right, and that was the nature of the time, but that's also what made it so successful, right? Like after World War II, wrestling had a German guy, right? And you had the Russians, and everyone that was an evil villain, you would take that and build into that.
The Iron Sheik.
Right.
You know, same thing.
Volkov,
Yeah,
right?
but
all of that.
You know, quickly, with that piece of business there, where I was coming from, I have 4 kids to feed, and I needed to get over on the WWE television, and I just went for it. It was my way of doing it. Kind of sorry I did it because it really did hurt Jimmy. It hurt him physically. He's never been quite the same. You know, so I just went for it.
We're wrapping this thing up. I got to ask you, you made reference to it early on in the show, 24/7. Tell me about that.
24/7 is going to revolutionize the business for the fans and also for us in the industry, in that you're going to have carte blanche, 75,000 hours of archived material to choose from, and it's arrived in Canada, and the reception that we've got on the street so far,
tremendous.
Very, very good.
You can pick that up at Rogers. I believe it's channel 400. You can find out what's going on.
You can see the heydays of wrestling when he had hair like Don King. I mean, it was amazing. He was 9.
You're the last one to talk. Who? You.
Yeah.
What's wrong with him?
Before we run out of time, too, I think you're a terrific host, and I thank you for having us, because one thing I think that the younger generation has lost is if it wasn't for people like you allowing us on shows like this.
That's unbelievable. 1,900 shows. My first compliment. Thanks for joining us in OTR.
Thanks for having me.
Off the Record with Michael Landsberg is brought to you by the Keg Steakhouse and Bar. For great steak, good friends, see you tonight. Michael Landsberg's clothing, provided by Victorinox Swiss Army. Available at Sporting Life in Toronto and better retailers across Canada.
You think this is a beautiful animal? You got fleas all over the cock. I mean,
Look at the beautiful face.
you've got horrible taste.
I was just going to mention, there's a lot of people concerned about me. I understand that, well, in Beverly Hills, I happen to know that my mailman right there is hunchbacked. I'm just carrying my mail.
The only thing I didn't get a tree for you to climb up and down like a monkey, like you want to do. You want to be a big shot? I'll get you a tree next time. You want a banana? Have a banana. There you go. Good banana.